40, and then wadunk, right there down to the bottom side of the trade right now. So we've stayed away from it, but you know, Neil's mentioning it. There's way more pain out there than Tesla today. So I would stay in the game if you are in the game with Tesla. I think it'll rebound at some point. I still really like the long. I like the story. Everything except for the cars. I mean, better sales there in China worked out for them. I again like the story. I think Tesla works. It's just for right now, it's going to go with the market, and the market is down. And if you're questioning valuations, I mean, Tesla doesn't have the greatest one either.
Nope.
The cars are not selling the way they used to. So Tesla right now downside for a couple minutes, I would say. Maybe give it the 2 or 3 day rule. See if we're lucky enough to get Tesla. Like, it wouldn't be lucky if you're a bull because you'd have to go through some pain. But you know, between 300 and 310, something like that, we've held there pretty good. You know, if this is the pullback. You know, we often get sort of blindsided, or I don't know what the right way to say it is, but we also often get like, we can't see
too worked up, can't see the...
Yeah, whatever through the leaves, or you can't see the forest through the trees, or the... Yeah, that's the phrase apparently. So I was just going to say, like, right there for Tesla, I think that's the story right now, is that you're just going to have to be patient there. And if you do believe in the name, then you're going to have to ride out these ups and downs. At least he's not involved in Doge anymore, right? Oh boy. Okay, let's go back over and talk about Lisa Su and company. That is AMD.
Get it, Lisa.
All right, guys. AMD down. Well, it was 5% now, 4.95. Not really sure what's selling it off, but it could be this headline here. As a result of one of their competitors getting an investment from SoftBank, Intel, we're talking about there, also possibly a 10% stake being taken by the U.S. government, and that doesn't have investors feeling all that good, at least on the day, on AMD, guys, down 5%.
I just said to myself, oh yeah, Intel.
Intel is actually up. Well, you know, we'll talk about, again, we're talking about chips now, so we'll talk about Intel after AMD. AMD had just a fantastic trend breakdown, which, well, I got rid of this because we're like, it wasn't useful anymore, but whatever, I'm not going to bother redrawing
Go gadget.
Trend down and then trend up. Today it breaks that trend. So this entire move that we've had, starting from maybe the dip around 100, but if you go all the way, it's been a spectacular run here, more than a double up for AMD. It's going to close, barring some kind of a minor miracle, breaking that trend. And then I just favor short until you get to the 50-period moving average. The next catalyst, the next shoe to drop, barring any other China news, is remember, we haven't even got to NVIDIA earnings. Like, what's going to happen at that point? Like imagine a scenario where there's even the slightest thing they can nitpick with NVIDIA. Like, what would AMD do on a move like that? So it was a great trend, and when these things double or go up 240% like we did from the bottoms here on AMD, you will get moves like this. And I'm favoring short until it either regains a trend line or finds some kind of a temporary bottom and shows you a bit of a reversal on AMD. Just to work it back in here, Intel, SoftBank took a stake. The U.S. government might take a 10% stake. It's always possible. We don't really know. They're talking about using funds from the CHIPS Act, the money that didn't go out, the grant money that didn't go out there to all the firms, if they could use that to get a 10% stake. I think that would be a positive, a bigger deal than SoftBank, because if the U.S. government's behind you, then U.S. companies might feel a little more pressure to actually use Intel as a fab instead of them having no clients. Right? I mean, it can't hurt. Government pressure. Hey, it's like, hey, Jensen, you want to sell the chips in China? Maybe you need to lock in Intel. I'm not saying that's what would happen, but it's not crazy to me. I took this once as a trend-breaking trade. I got trailed at a VWAP. I'm not in it anymore. I think if I try this again in the long side, because it's actually up right now, up 8% and up since the open still. If it can hold on to VWAP, that might be the place. If we can start getting some closes over VWAP and the market doesn't look so crappy, for lack of a better term, then Intel makes a lot of sense for an afternoon long. But there's a lot of ifs and buts here. Because when the market's trending down, I basically want to go long trend breaks or things that are showing good signs of relative strength. And, NIO was, kind of.
Okay, my turn, I guess. Palantir, nice upside play right here, 80 cents in the money and still going. Let's just hold it for the rest and see if we can get going there. I do have an offer at 158.65 to make it a true dollar club, but we've been piecing it out. We actually now only have 60% left, but there it is right at the 50. Yeah. right? I have to get something. I'm gonna get out of another 5% of what we have. Leave us with 55%. Okay, it's at the 50-period moving average. You see it completely turn around right there. So right now we're buying back into it. That stop out, of course, is part of this. As we said, Palantir looking to go positive on the name here today. So that should be a good one. Moving forward, all right, advanced micro devices. We did not. We did trade this today. We did not trade it that well. I have to zoom back out a little bit. This was one of the first names that we got involved with again today. We actually didn't get involved until about 9:40, about 9:55 it looks like. Played that drop, thought maybe we were going to absorb some of this levels here around 170, but then we were able to, like I said, it's bad, but could always be worse. You know, if you don't have those stops. I saw someone in the chat said like they raw dogged it today and they didn't put out any stop orders, but they were short. So that was a good one.
Raw dogged it.
Oh, raw dog might be something that we say, that the wife and I say. I know that what it means. It's not the greatest thing, but that's what we mean, like without, like, you know, you went out in the rain without an umbrella.
Yeah, we've used it for things like that. I've never heard it in a trading term, though. I've never heard it in a trading.
If you don't put a stop loss in, you're raw dogging your trade. I think that's fine to say that.
Fair.
Pretty soon everyone's...
It's the same kind of danger. Like your maximum downside, right?
Raw
maximum
dog
downside if you raw dog.
No, I never raw dogged a flight. What is that?
That means no electronics, you just stare straight.
Oh, raw dogging a flight is like you go on there without...
That's light work. Oh, so Joe just said raw dogging a flight is when you just sit there, use no electronics. Can you read a book? Is that count?
Nothing.
No book. So you just sit there on a flight with nothing.
This is how we use the terminology in my house anyways, very similar to that.
You could sleep.
It's like you're raw dogging it. It's just like you're just going in raw. You're doing nothing with it. But anyways, if you did that with your stop losses today and you were long, you would have
probably not
been too happy. But there it is, nice move down. AMD down 5%. For everybody that loves AMD, get in there and love it even more today because it's on sale. So get involved with some AMD today, down 5%. I think it's a buy. I just want to wait for all of these stocks to get to the 50-period moving average. We're in a hell of a bull market, and I don't think anything is going to change that. Especially not one day. Boohoo, NASDAQ down 1.37%. The best of the best are going to get hit on these days. And as long as you didn't raw dog it, you're probably fine. So there will be some bad days where you go through these things. But at the end of it all, I like the stock. I like its friend over here, Big Brother, the king of the castle. NVIDIA. I'd rather buy NVIDIA down 3% than AMD down 5%. So I don't think there's anything bold about that one. There it is, nice move to the downside. And
I wonder if anybody would. Is there anybody that likes AMD more than NVIDIA here?
Well, we had Mitch. I mean, Mitch was like, you could get more. I mean, I think people think that there's more to go on AMD, like meaning that the high is still 240.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that move already happened. But
Same.
maybe it didn't. Because when we looked it up, it's like the difference between the two of them on the year from those lows was about the same. So,
yeah.
I mean, AMD just seemed like it was going faster because you're used to it on NVIDIA. You're not used to much happening on NIO, but today...
Bitcoin is getting...
a little bit
now. Bitcoin...
Yeah, it's taking it on the chin a little bit. A little bit.
NIO.
Tina, man. All right, NIO's having a decent day. It was up 4% a second ago. Now it's up 3.9%. A couple of different headlines over here. So they cut prices. That's not awfully bullish as it eats into margins, but they're also expanding globally. Singapore, Uzbekistan, and another country I can't remember at the moment. They were selling really only in China, so good luck there. It could also be that their rival, Xpeng, had blowout deliveries, delivering about 103,000 vehicles just in the last quarter. So yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I see a bit of a bull flag here forming on the daily after that double bottom. Neil, how do you see this? Kind of a bull flag pattern with that $5 area being kind of the intermediate area. Katina, what do you see here as well?
That because the $5 break is exactly the only, that's what we looked at today. And it was because of it, is exactly because of this channel. It doesn't really matter. I've heard like bull flag, it's a bullish consolidation, where like price is consolidating and not with a flat top. It was a declining something, whatever this is called. And then you broke out at $5 today. It was a $5 breakout trade, and then it was a VWAP. It was a $5 breakout trade that was good, and then it was a VWAP trade that was okay, and then it was a second VWAP trade which is doing absolutely nothing. But that's the story of the Chinese ADRs. You should, most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, your best bet is going to be getting them at the open. And then after that, they're going to slow down. Why? For obvious reasons. Chinese ADRs slow down in the middle of the day, and sometimes they catch juice in the afternoon. I don't know. I'm not taking this a fourth time. I'm not taking a flat bottom break. I'm just getting out if it breaks this local bottom here. So like it was a morning trade. I think you could see some continuation when you break something like this. Certainly, I would favor long over $5 again tomorrow, but it went right into the high. Could not break the prior high, went 5 to essentially 525, missed it by 2 cents, and then came right back in. So that's what you could get on the move. So that's what you take. We'll see if it has a little more juice in it tomorrow. One of the good things is, at least with something like that, you didn't have to worry as much about the market falling apart because NIO is the kind of name that has the ability to go without the market going. And not that it's some kind of crazy small capper, but a lot of times when the market's doing this to the downside, if you're looking for longs, you might be able to find it in something that is not going to have as direct a correlation to the NASDAQ. And that can be one of the prerequisites you look for. Obviously, you want it to be relatively strong and have a good positive news as well, which NIO had.
Yeah, I thought we could, more appropriately, I can't believe nobody voted for Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything like that today. As put your hand up if you hold or own any NIO stock. All right, I was just going to say, as far as, right, that's about right. Okay, so right now, just looking at what IBIT's doing, you know, waiting for moves down in the crypto space, I'll probably buy more Bitcoin tonight. You know, I mean, 113, if we're going to call up a Bitcoin, here's Solana too, by the way. I wasn't looking at this one recently, but I had bought some more recently at $200, so that is down. Where is the daily chart here? 1 day. Okay, so as we zoom in just a little bit here and have a look at what Solana is doing. So again, remember what we talked about, 50 period moving average, 200 period moving average right now. Come on, Palantir, right now, Palantir 85 cents in the money. We're looking to bounce it off this 200 period, that's 160. You are attending the 50 period moving average right now of 172. But yeah, man, a lot of people caught in the euphoria there. I only had a little bit of cash left and I just wanted to put it somewhere, so I did put it on Solana, thinking maybe I should have done some Ripple there. I will not be buying Ethereum, but I would be buying some Bitcoin at some point right here. There it is. There's Bitcoin coming back into the 50 period moving average. Look, man, I bought this thing at 103, 105, 108. Didn't buy anything up top, so waiting for some more opportunities to come back. I mean, I think it can get into this 105 area. Why not there for crypto? And then the two are for Bitcoin, and then the bottom there, 100 is where your 200 period moving average is. And even if we say like, okay, we don't believe in this space or whatever, it doesn't matter what you believe in. It does for your own convictions, fine. You don't have to invest in things. But when you're looking at this, the 200 period really has held this is January of 23. So back when it was $19,000 is where we were underneath it for this whole time. You know, we went from 50,000, like this is how crazy Bitcoin's already had this dramatic move. We were at 70,000 there. We went down to 20,000. So we got chopped as 80% down, all right? Then we break the 50 period, or sorry, the 200 period or the 50 period, whatever you want, right into here, right there, January of 23. That was 20,000, 19, 20,000. Since then, sure, we've danced around it here. This was 28, 24, 25, and then we're just sort of getting started on Bitcoin, right? Then Bitcoin has a huge move up to 70,000, comes right back in, barely breaks it all the way up. Then we get that move in the summer of 2024, this 2 summers ago, it's 2025, where the whole market came back in. So yeah, man, Bitcoin does break the 200 period moving average there. That was 61,000. So it goes to 55,000. All right, still hovering. There's another break rate here at 64,000. Then we come back and again, hovers around the 200 period there. So let's just say you say that break, that's the 200 period, that's 86. It goes as low as 76. But guess what? 86 to 76, like find me a stock that during the tariff time, which is this is what this move is, only went down from 86 to $76. Most stocks went down 20, 30%, especially tech names, if not more than that. I think NVIDIA went down 55%, okay? So Bitcoin holds up good there, bounces around, comes in, doesn't even test the 200 period moving average. So somewhere around here, I think is a great buy spot for Bitcoin. And you guys know we've been raising a little bit of cash, so I feel like maybe we won't buy exactly tonight, but I feel like maybe 1 or 2 more days for BTC gets us, you know, maybe 108, 109, kind of worst case, and you know, we'll buy $1,000 worth here, just for example, and then another $1,000 worth here, whatever, on the way down, and just sort of add to the position until at some point, you know, you feel like you have enough. As Neil said, you're maybe capped at 5%, so or whatever your cap is. Everyone's going to be different. I don't look at things like that, but it makes sense to do that. You know, I don't know if you want to hold more than that in your account.
I think I don't use it as a hard line. It's just,
right, okay.
It's in a general sense. If you're at resistance and it's gone to like 6.5, I'm trimming something. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
And well, okay, here's the most egregious example where I would let something like that fly would be probably like something like an NVIDIA. I tend to be a little bit more hard line on things that I think are a little bit riskier. Not that I think Bitcoin's riskier, but Eli Lilly would be the best example of that. Like when Eli Lilly was more than 5% of my portfolio, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, maybe not.
Low.
But I'm using one chart for Bitcoin. Why did this all of a sudden go blue? I didn't even, okay, that's weird. Anyways, if you look at how long we've been in consolidations for Bitcoin, since when we break out a new high, and then from November, and really you stayed within these 2 channels all the way down into April of the following year, and then another consolidation. I think I need proof that we're holding this level. Otherwise, I'm more of a buy the dip kind of person. Like I will let it. I'll be a buyer on the way down there, which is what I did. Then I was a buyer on the way down to the 72 level, and I've done nothing on the way up. And if we get back down, I know I'll be a buyer down here, and I'll be probably a buyer down there in front of 70 again. And I think that's, if you're not cool with Bitcoin possibly pulling back into the 70s, then it's just, remember, this is what it does. You know, like you have to be okay with that sort of thing. In addition to what happened specifically in crypto, let's not forget, Robinhood, the other side of this, Robinhood had positive news today. Like we had the story. It wasn't just that. It wasn't just them. I mean, so there was a positive news for SoFi. We'll get as well. But you had Robinhood, I believe, with football prediction markets partnering with Kalshi, and then you had
there it is
transfers. It was like what is it? It was
SoFi. Wasn't
SoFi was the transfers news, both with positive news and both catching topping tails, and then just harsh reverses. So it wasn't just directly into crypto. It was a lot of other things as well. I am still in SoFi. I've traded it at 2 prices. 24.5 was the breakout price. Then it turned off the support. Anything down at the bottom, we go for a trend break on SoFi. It broke trend, this trend line here, and it goes 23 to 23.3, where it still is. I got a trailing stop on it, trying to let it fly into 23.5, because that's kind of the obvious target for SoFi. But these all feel like we've hit a bit of a top, and we should be breaking trend at some point. If you have a healthy pullback, you break trend lines and then regroup somewhere else. If it breaks 23, it breaks the trend line on the daily. That's why I liked it bouncing off of 23 here, where we have it. But if we lose that, SoFi could be at $20, and would that be crazy? It was a $7. Well, it wasn't $7.
$20. It could be at $20 tomorrow.
Check that. It was an $8 stock in April, right?
Yeah.
But like if it goes to $20, that's a small pullback, really small.
SoFi will go to 20 before 30.
Oh yeah, I believe that. I think it's breaking trend tomorrow.
There you go. So we both think SoFi goes down $5 before it goes up 5. Okay, so right there it is right now. We got a dollar club finally right there on Palantir. $1 plus right now. Now $1.20 in the money off these dip buys. We've been sitting here since 2 o'clock is telling you guys that we're dip buying this name. So yeah, we're going to be happy when it gets back up to the upside. There it is, your dollar club winner there. And we're $3 in the money as well as we start to cover the futures. Right now, there could be a little bit of a late day push. I mean, I can see the strength getting to the high side right now with the Palantir trade. If others start to catch a bid as well, you know, NVIDIA is going to catch a bid at some point, I think. And I was actually looking at this 177 break long on NVIDIA, if that can go. We've seen some strength. I don't know about today, but recently in Amazon. down so for me, no, this does not look like it wants to break any of these levels. So that's a low take right there. Come on, Palantir, let's go. $1.20 in the money on that one. Yeah, look, see, like Apple doesn't look like it wants to go upside either right now. Advanced Micro Devices might, yeah. So some of these chip names looking pretty good. Let me check on SPCE, right there. Yeah, so again, this one, possible bottom break. We're looking at like 200 period moves, so that would be $44. This actually looks pretty good as well there on SMCI as a possible break there for SMCI, 44. So yeah, a couple good names. I'll probably choose NVIDIA just with comfort level, but I'm comfortable trading anything. So 177, that looks pretty good. SMCI might actually look better. What's up, Adara?
Just keep an eye here on Paramount, Sky, and also Netflix. I did mention this story yesterday. This isn't new, but CNBC now reporting this. Apparently, the Duffer Brothers, who are the creators of Stranger Things for Netflix, have now signed a 4-year exclusive deal with Paramount Skydance. This was reported as early as yesterday, but CNBC reporting this now, I guess, further being circulated. PSKY on watch here. That is Paramount Skydance following their merger. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Paramount, well, see, there's something that's not terrible
Stay short.
on the day. But yeah, this market going right back in. Like I was looking at, hey, Intel's up 7%. That could get to VWAP. It could go and look at it roll right back into not the lows of the day, but like the lows since the open. So there's not really a lot of strength happening over there, unfortunately. Maybe SoFi can break out of this consolidation and move into VWAP, but it's going sideways. So unless you had the trend break, that's pretty much no good. Open Door could get going again. I do like this one above the prior close. Like when it was trying to go green, I think that would look pretty good. It's made a hard bottom. The market could go down. The squeeze name always has a chance regardless of what the market does. So if the volume can pick up here, maybe get above VWAP, that's worth keeping up. Because, you know, like as I said, I really don't see myself, I'm not getting back into NIO or anything. That was a morning trade. And then as it tapers off in the afternoon, who cares about that kind of a thing? But Open Door looks like that could be spicy if you can get over the volume weighted average price. Let us know what else you guys are into. Right here's people talking about Tesla and Palantir. Tesla heading right back into the lows, nowhere near 327. To me, that's where the bottom is. Like that's the level that I was outside of what we were trading this morning, which, you know, the dip into support here at 333 and then the breakout through 336. Those were the only levels I had, and the other one was 327. If we get down there again, I think I would look at that bad boy as well. What else we got going on here? Oh, thoughts on AMD into the close? Let's see what the levels are on AMD. What, the thing about you have to zoom out so far on some of these. It could bounce. 166 looks like something. But you've got to show me, like, where's the actual reverse of trend? Like, look at it hold on to the trend here. Bang, bang, bang. Now I feel like that guy in the golf. What was it? What was the name of that enforcer in the golf game who was, like, knocking the guy out? And he was doing the sound
game.
He was giving sound effects while he was whooping the guy's butt. He's like, bang, bang. He's literally saying that. You didn't see that
golf
video?
movie?
No, it was.
Oh, that one.
The
Yeah,
rando
yeah,
guy
yeah,
that just got filled.
Yeah.
What was the name of the? Anyways,
I actually didn't really
I'm giving my own sound effects. No, I saw like a bunch of people send it to me, and it was just like the guy's actually literally he's bothering to say bang when he's hitting the dude in the face, as if the guy getting hit in the face isn't aware of what's happening. It's like, well, I think I know that I'm getting hit in the face. You don't have to tell me with the bang. But that was
Bang is nice. Maybe that guy watches Trader TV live because he's all about that.
Maybe. But for the question about AMD, you know what I'm going to tell you. Sure, I would go long in this if it can break this trend line. Look at how it's now riding the trend from VWAP. That's what you like to see for a potential trend break. You want to see it respect the trend line, and then if you're looking for, to me, if you're looking for a long, try to get a trend break. That's worked on a bunch of names today off of the lows. The problem is, after it worked for a bit, we just end up trending right back down. So you kind of have to get what you can out of the move and hope that the thing will sustain. So yeah, AMD, I'll throw that one up. If we can break this trend line, sure. I think it's a long, but that's a moving target. So the lower it goes, the lower the entry becomes on a trend break, obviously.
Okay, so we're kind of feeling the same kind of ways right now. We're getting more out of Palantir. I mean, as we've been going, I don't know. don't want to just keep talking about the same thing, but there's some more outs right there near the highs. I mean, I'm happy to take that. Those are all dollar prints as well. So we'll take it. Dollar Club is just a fun thing we do. It doesn't really matter. You got to trade the levels, and it just turned out that right into here. We've already been up here before, and that's where it kept on failing. So we'll just take some outs as it comes. We'll take outs again. And if you are looking for a sophisticated way to trade some of these markets, especially on a day like today, Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple levered ETFs, offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fee to just 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek out and neutralize U.S. dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying U.S. equity indice. If you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. So go to betapro.ca, check out that 3x platform, and figure out what they're offering there. Interesting, you can get treasuries. I mean, that's pretty interesting to see that being offered as well. Yeah. Semiconductor index. I mean, on a day like today, if you're talking about, SMH, right now, you will be shaking your head looking at this stock, because right now this is again an ETF combined with all of the semiconductor names, and this is where you get a different level of exposure because you're only down 1.86% as opposed to an individual stock like an AMD down 4.5%, and so on and so forth. As we continue to talk about that, another lever name, of course, SOXL. That's going to be one levered to the long side, so there you go, down 3 times the move, or double, I guess. A little bit more than that of SMH. So again, different weightings, different holdings. The best part about trading is, and all of these products, just scan the QR code, go figure it out yourself, figure out what the leverage is like, what the decay is like, and chart it out and see if it does fit your portfolio. So we want to thank Global X for their continued
something for everybody.
Yeah, we have Brian Shannon on tonight from Alpha Trend, so that should be big. We'll talk to him about what he sees in this market, about this recent move. I know he's going to tell me he's short, so we'll ask him why and how that led to that short position. And I think a lot of it is just off of the all-time highs. I mean, the Dow made an all-time high this morning and then just gave it back just like that. And so don't get too caught up in everything that this market's giving us today. We're down 1.4%, and it looks bad, right? It looks like it wants to continue to bleed a little bit lower. But we do have Jackson Hole, which is coming. Here's the cues right here. I'll just call this up. That's going to be a meeting of the minds there. They're going to discuss, hopefully, future rate hikes or cuts and what that looks like. You're going to hear more opinions being said, and that's Thursday and Friday.
Hopefully not hikes.
Yeah, of this. Hopefully not, but I don't know.
The market would be a little surprised.
I would hope not. That would be setting this market downside. And then we get, of course, retail earnings this week. Target, Walmart coming through. We had Home Depot today, which was a nice move. Was up 4 or 5% today. So
one of the only things.
Yeah, and then it's the small cap sort of AI kind of names today, or the ones that have been sort of blown out a little bit to both sides, up and downside. We got Rigetti today down 10%, so yuck on that. We got QBTS. I haven't even looked at this yet. I'm going to assume it's something similar. Yeah, down 7. IonQ. I'm going to, again, SMR, NewScale, some of these small modular reactors.
In fairness, though, it's not just the small ones. Like SMR
No,
is down.
I think it's the space.
GEV's down 4%. I mean, the 4% is a lot for GEV. Like, that's like SMR going down 12%.
Oh, we got filled on the TQs?
That's just how it rolls. But like, this is something that was getting frothy too. Like the data centers are still getting built, but this can't go up forever. And all of these names have run into, we just got to some pretty frothy tops. But then the problem is, like, everyone's been saying that the entire way. But at some point, I don't know. I say this every single time. I feel like the number of times you hear the whole "don't sell at all-time highs." I don't know, man. When something like to not trim a position ever when everything is pointing to a top and it's consolidating and it's been a good. It's not in my DNA. So I think you do, and you look for places, like reasonable places to get back in. I would venture to say NG even over. I don't think we're anywhere near that yet. But on another note, there's also, look, I just saw someone put in Voyager in the chat. It was actually UNH that I wanted to get to. Because one thing that just came out, all those 13F filings came out. And on really big down days, like today, I know we're not down that much, 1.5%. But relatively speaking, it's been a pretty big day to the downside. sometimes some strength or some buyers can emerge, right? So if there is the idea that Berkshire might be adding, or anybody that recently bought is wanting to increase a position in UNH and buying dips, sometimes you will find levels hold up. Now, I'm not saying I'm now all of a sudden certain that 300 is going to be a good level. That was the bottom on Friday. And that was the bottom again here today. So now you've got a double bottom. We can hold that a third day, and I start to like this trade a little bit better. It's a longer consolidation. I don't think we've proven everything yet, but that's what I like to look for, relative strength in a session like this. Intel kind of has it. Certainly UNH can just be showing you that there's still maybe some buyers at that 300 level, despite the fact that everyone says Warren's in at 312. I kind of thought he'd have a better price in that, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. I keep saying Warren, but I should be saying Berkshire.
I know. I want to correct you. But
yeah, that's my bad. It's just a habit. And over the years, if you're accustomed to saying Warren Buffett with regards to Berkshire, at some point, at some point I'll stop saying that. But 300 looks good. Tomorrow, if I can see it hold tomorrow, I'd be much more inclined to take a shot at some longs in UNH, because they won for 2 days in a row, but I would say they were disappointing longs in UNH, and maybe that bigger move could happen if we can hold on to the 300 level and get some relief rally tomorrow. All right, it looks like AMD's testing that trend line. Thought I saved it. Obviously, I did not save it because it would still be there if I had. So it's testing that trend line, looking for this one to break, close above the trend line, not just do a topping tail candle, close above the trend line, and try to catch some kind of a reversal here as the market continues to attempt to hold the bottom. If we can get a snipe, we can. If it doesn't, then what are you going to do? If we don't break the downtrend, I don't want to be long.
Yeah, so I'm long right now, and I just took the long on the TQs. So far so good. So I didn't want to interrupt, but we are now long this name and hoping for more. So we bought some dips there. The thing is, we were short, right? So you guys, if you guys are like wondering what happened to that position, we flipped it up. We got filled. So we got filled there at the very bottom. We took $3 on it. And the reason why we took out that level there on the TQQs is that that was the level. So there's our fill right there. And then I punched long. So now we're long. If I say long again, then that means we're long. So we're long right now, and it's starting to go back upside. So we took out 10% at 30s there right now. The 50-period moving average is right here at 35s. I do have another offer at 39, but I think I'm just going to put one at 35, and then I'll cancel the 39 and see if we can get up a little bit higher than that. That is where the 50-period moving average is. Then we've come up here to 50, so we'll probably think about taking it out, and then we could see about the 200 up there at 89.70. So let's just see. I mean, it could. Hey, look, man, this could completely crap out again and fall back in, and then we're like, womp womp. But right now, that's what I'm going to try to do here with the triple Qs. Now, Palantir, again, right back into the money again. I'm going to take another offer here at 49, so there it is. We take that out. Now it's starting to go back in, so we'll have to wait to see what winds up happening with Palantir. We'll take another offer there. That's 90 cents in the money. Like, there are bids to go out here and go shopping and find out some good trades. It's just you got to find them. I think we did that with Palantir. Our patience winds up paying off, and now we'll just have to wait for the futures. And then I do like that NVIDIA trade that I gave you guys, breaking through 177, but I mean, it actually got pretty aggressive right there to the downside. So that 177 is the 200-period moving average. I'm actually going to say we need much more of a break than that. We need to get at least up to here to 177.20. I don't want this thing to dance around the 200-period moving average, and I just punch long there, because a fail there, we come right back in. So no, I don't like the long running into support. I like it, or resistance. I like it breaking that resistance. So a dollar higher from here on NVIDIA gets me excited. So that's what we're going to wait for. Hopefully that move comes in sooner rather than later, but it's right now it's NVIDIA waiting for that play. We took the futures long. We've got Palantir right now. But again, we ain't raw dogging this. Like, we are stopping out. If this breaks below 89, we're going to get out of the futures, right? And so that's what we're talking about. And I know it's a little suspect to do these trades right now, but I think the risk right now is to those that are short. The market's already come in quite violently there and just double touched the bottom. So I don't know. From my experience, I'm gonna favor the long, and that's what we're doing right now. So we're long Palantir, long the TQQs in hopes of a move upside.
Yeah, and remember, time frame is everything. Someone just like, your AMD long is $10 off. Well, it's not going to 157 today. And I'm not interested in it if it goes down to 157 because something really, really bad has happened in 1 hour if this goes to $157. The only thing I care about is there is the all-day trend. Is it trying to break? And if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I have my same stop. I don't raw dog it because we're using that term now. On a trend break, my exit is always the same. The prior bar. Sometimes I'll make an exception and give it to the low of the day. If that ends up being a better look, in this particular case, giving it to the low of the day makes no sense, but it's the prior bar low. It's the same thing that I was doing in SoFi, which is still not doing anything. SoFi did do a trend break. I like it on downward moves. Like you find a trend. If it's all day, it's all day. If it's from VWAP or maybe it's from like news could happen in the middle of the day, and then you get a trend going in one direction or not, wait for it to break and then take that shot. That's to me the way I want to be a counter trend trade for sure. What do we have? Someone said something about Meta. Opendoor just tried to go above the volume weighted average price and rejected it again. So there it is going into VWAP. It spent zero time, well, not zero, that's wrong. Almost no time above the volume weighted average price since the open. Like in the pre-market, yes. At the open, it instantly was failing it. So even like a close above, and this is a long that I can get myself into. It's just looking somewhat strong. And the volume's also starting to pick up, if you can see that there at the bottom, which is something that I like to look for, especially in the afternoon. BMNR double top, but I don't want to. This one can go squeezing, and you got to pay attention to ETH here. If you like that to the long side, then you want ETH to be going with you. ETH is trying to bounce off the lows a little bit here. If I saw a little more strength in Ethereum, then I could favor that BMNR to the long side that you're mentioning in the chat there. Adara? Oh.
Just keep an eye on copper, I didn't mean to mention this story. We have a post here on Truth Social from President Donald Trump about these copper tariffs. So just keep an eye here. And FCX, this one right now looks like it's rejecting a little bit around that 4130 level. Back to you.
The hour of power is upon us, and the market just turning for another low possibly right now. So just be careful with all of that right here. So we're going to be careful with it coming through. So all right. So here comes the market back in. We just took some more outs right there. Again, at the 50 period, we sort of talked about that. But here it comes right back in right now. So here we go. All right, so Palantir right back in. But like literally, we got $1 better than this like 3 minutes ago. So the market is fading right now back to this downside. I am bidding 50s still. I'll put a little bit more on here in the 70s. There it is. So we'll take a little bit more long here on Palantir as it just kind of comes into our level again. Hopefully we're able to absorb some of this and it will just float around here and then start to get going. But you can see the futures just give it all the way back up right now, right into the lows. That's sort of the bottom right here of the NASDAQ on the day. This is where we last covered our short. Remember, we were short all the way up here. So it was a good cover, but now it is fading out. So as Palantir comes in, as all of these names start to come in, you have to protect said neck because right now the market is heading downside.
It just can't bid.
Yeah. So there it goes. We just lost 89 there, so we get out of that one. We'll fail it on the reload, but not really. These are just sort of ebbs and flows right now of trying to catch these bounces, but it seems like a true trader, I think, would just be short. So we have to do that. We have to probably look for something short now instead of just trying to catch all of these moves to the backside. I said the risk I thought was to the short. I still don't think that because now the market is correcting me and saying, no, the risk is to the long. As we just right now take out the lows of the day, the NASDAQ down 1.5%. Look, I think it's a healthy pullback, to be honest with you. Stocks do need to sometimes reevaluate and have this pullback, shake out weak hands, get people to dump Palantir into your hands. We'll wait to see if that winds up happening, but there it is right there, man. Now we're going upside a little bit right now with Palantir. This is another one of those trades where we do have our stop in place, and the stop is at the low of the day, 157.30. So here we go. This is about a 1-to-1 trade if we take it here. I do think there's some more upside. We'll offer 77s and we'll shout out Ray Bork and Paul Coffey. But for right now, this needs to get back up north of 158 for this to be a really true trade. So let's see if we can get going now on Palantir. And I believe, go over to Adara at the desk.
I think so.
We are over here to me. I wanted to let you guys know here about the earnings and events for August 20th, 2025. That is tomorrow. Tomorrow morning is a very, very stacked earnings docket. We have some retailers like Estee Lauder, Lowe's, Target, TJX. We've got Baidu as well, Chinese ADR on watch, and then, of course, as well, Zim Integrated Shippings. I'm going to be releasing an infographic here pretty soon in terms of the expected moves for tomorrow morning's earnings. But I also want to let you guys know I will be off tomorrow, but X at TTV Research will still have a steady stream of posts. I've been pre-scheduling some posts, so you will not be missing any content while I'm gone. We'll still have these calendars for the day ahead. We'll have some other information throughout the day, so make sure to keep checking that X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Thank you for those updates. Obviously, enjoy the time off, and you'll be missed. But we'll make sure we get the watch list out there, just like normal. Next man up, or in this particular case, it takes two of us to do that in the mornings. But let's be real, we're in earnings season, but it's not as crazy as it used to be, which is good because then you can drill down and focus on the ones that are out there. Like this morning, I think it was Palo Alto, and well, I mean, I think when you look at the movers this morning, anytime a drug company like a Viking has a big trial result, that's actually more important than their earnings. So I think it just falls right into those categories. I know it isn't earnings, but to me, it's the same type of event there, and that's why Adair had that on the watch list as well. So I'm out of SoFi. It was trying to go. It was holding. The good news is it was holding. It just couldn't go when the market was trying to bounce. So I'm now out of that trade. Open Door, forget about Open Door. It just kind of, not flush, but it just pulled back off you up with everything else. No love whatsoever. And I wanted to get to the super chat now, but hey, we got out of a trade, so I was going to show you that. I'll go to the fan funding because it was about Lululemon. Oh, we missed two. That's my bad. I thought we only missed one. Jedi as well. Could you check one of the only stocks in green, and how do you see those technically ahead of? Can you check one? What symbol is? Can you check one of the only stocks in green, and how do you see those technically ahead of earnings? I'm not sure I follow along. Did you mean something specifically, or in general, any stock that's green today? Maybe give us a clarification on that. And Bob, thoughts on Lulu earnings next week? Lululemon. Let's look up a chart of Lulu. I'm not a huge fan of the apparel names right now, but I'm going to pull up a monthly chart of Lulu. Because this was, a couple of years ago, I had a swing trade in this. And it's getting close to, and you can obviously see it now that I pulled the chart up. I should have said it first. If you look at the 200 period on this monthly chart, where it's trending down, because someone asked me about this, I'm pretty sure a couple of weeks ago, and I said, well, on the monthly, it's breaking the support on the monthly. Like, why do we like the long when it's still going down and still showing you weakness? You want it to show a bounce off a level. Well, the big level from here, like about 120 into 174, which is huge, but that first support's at about the 474.75 in front of the 200 period on the monthly chart. So I'm looking for it to hold this in any given month, show a bounce. But when these turn on a monthly, it bottomed out here at 250 and eventually went to $400, right? Did you need to be long in the first month that it bounced? No. You could have literally bought it the next month and still captured that, whatever the move was, like $175, so 70% move. You could have still captured that move without needing to catch the bottom. And I'm completely convinced that's how you trade these things. You wait for it to show you the confirmation. You can get in after. You don't have to chase. If you get it, you get it. And that's what I'm looking for in Lulu. But I'm not taking the shot until we test a little bit lower on this bad boy.
All right, yeah, thanks for all of that, everybody over there. Apparently the stock is BJ, so we can have a look at the BJ Wholesale.
Okay.
Yeah, so with the retail space coming, we'll have a quick look over there. I am starting a new position. I'm just going to go short now. You know, we were short the NASDAQ. This is the #1 P&L name today. And we're going to wait to see if it keeps on going. So we tried the long. We actually made money long, but, you know, we just gave it up right there one more time. So back in there, breaking through 89. Let's just go short now, flip it up again. And we got asked about that yesterday. Like now we see some levels right here, like this 89.10 area where we sort of were dancing around, had a couple wicks higher, then started pushing lower again into that, into what's going to be a print here after hours. So let's just, with the imbalances, still just power hour now. We saw the imbalance are still 40 minutes away, so we're not doing that. But if it does break through here, here's the 50 period on the 1 minute chart. Like, I feel like we were starting to get going there, in which we started to cover. This is part of our short plan right there on the futures, but we are now into this one more time. I mean, we broke it there, we came back in, we kind of broke it there, came back in. So I'm just gonna, like, let's just see if it wants to break 89.25s or so. We're short right now at 88s. Not necessarily the greatest trade of all time here, so let's just wait to see if it does pan out a little bit. We would like a downside push, and again, if we're going to be short here at 88s, and our stop is going to be around those 10s, 11 area, so we need at least 20 or 30 cents on this trade. The low of the day right now is 82, so we're right here right now, obviously, and we're just going to give this a try to see if the market does want to continue down, because, you know, getting like a bigger look on this is a 30-minute chart. I mean, we've now, boom, covered most of this, starting to break through this area right now. This is an interesting spot where we could possibly stop before potentially making one more lower move into like 566 on the Qs. So if I actually type in here TQQ, then we may have a little bit of a better look to see what areas could come into play. This is right here, 80, basically 88.50 or so. You know, the next kind of level, and if we are even luckier than that, then maybe we get a push into 88, but that's, I don't think I'd still be short, actually, at that time. If we get that low, it would be short small, but not enough to actually make any money. So, all right, so we're gonna try some more here. We're not averaging in this until 89, so we're pretty close to getting that. We just wanna make sure that we have a decent price and not a whole bunch of shares. In case they're, like, I'd hate to be right and wrong at the same time. Like, we were trying to catch the bid, we caught it a little bit, but then not that much. So I don't want to just like push in and go all in with aces here. I don't think we have them. I just think that we are trying to play the pot size here. And
sometimes you don't even go all in with aces.
no, yeah. So I don't know. We're just going to sit here and wait, and hopefully this market will come in. Yeah, that's true. Sometimes you got to play the field, which is what I was kind of getting at, and just see what it gives you. So I'll put a bid in there in around 74, 75. See if we can capture that 15 cents and make a little bit on that first 10%, and then we'll wait after that and see where it goes from there.
And where you can go, everybody, is right here and scan that QR code right in front of you, because I think this is a great cause. Empowered women change the world. We know this, and you can help to make it happen. The Woman Boss trains and mentors women and girls across Africa to lead, innovate, and thrive. And since 2018, they've reached over 10,000 women and girls. And your donation today can launch the next great entrepreneur. Scan the QR code on your screen now and join us in building a brighter future. I think obviously a pretty solid cause there as far as I'm concerned. There was a couple, this is a question, I'm just gonna address this, JD Garcia, easy answer. What chart are you using? So the charts that you see Sean and I use, we're using the P8 system here. So our charting is part of the P8 platform that we trade on here at Real Trading. Now, any other chart you see Sean or I use or show you will be an e-signal chart. Right? So we use e-signal, but when I'm showing you the trades and the executions, that'll be just right on P8, which is a proprietary platform here at Real Trading, which we've been trading on for some time. I have my eyeballs right now on Intel, as you can obviously see. We got out of SoFi, which couldn't really hold on. And Intel, for whatever reason, the breakout at the open at 25.12, or whatever that, 10, 12, whatever you want to call it, and where we got a bit of a trend break, it's holding that same low. So you know what I'm going to say next, because it's more or less the way I like to look at things, and you kind of have your own plan. If it can break trend and holding that low, then I go into a bit of a long. It's held a support level. That's not enough for me. I want it to start winning, just like we're looking for in AMD and like what SoFi did. So I have this one up on the side, and that's what I'll wait for. I just kind of want to take that quick little shot. We're into power hour now, so you get those last few salvos. Sometimes you only have like one trade. Like the other day, I think all afternoon, it was really just, I was just short wolf like several times, and there was nothing else. Like, that's all I did. It just kept on going down, and that can be fine, but it has to be good, and you have to make sure you find a setup that works for you on your own trading style. Lots of people in the chat here. You got that's a good one. Lots of jokes in the chat. SSYS, I see that's a name in here. Here's what we can do though. It's like 312. So I'm gonna restart this, because if there's anything that you guys want us to look at, then I'm just going to go fresh start here. And what you're going to do, everybody that's in the chat, well, first of all, if you're not in the chat, get in the chat. And to do so, be a subscriber. So hit the subscribe, hit the like, then you can jump into the chat. Type $ and the ticker that you're interested in for whatever reason. Make sure it's a real ticker, like I would go $, let's say Tesla, and then Tesla in theory would show up. A bunch coming in, Marvell, Palantir, AS, Tesla. I just type that in. Coin, NVIDIA, SSYS, which someone had just mentioned, CoreWeave, Hood. And then we can check back in. Like right now, it looks like Coinbase. Well, for a second, Coinbase was taking the cake, and now Robinhood. It's a nice little battle. I love how real time this is. It's almost like you guys see, oh, my horse is winning the race. I should be hitting that one. So Coinbase, Robinhood, mostly in the crypto space, which that tracks, right? Like that tracks for me because I think that's what's moving the most today in a general sense, or things that are adjacent to the crypto space. You know why, and it's okay, we got to figure something out here. I think I know why ETH and Bitcoin don't ever make this. Can we just make a conscious decision, everybody, that if you want ETH on here, just go like ETHA?
I've seen people put IBIT on there before.
Yeah, IBIT gets on there, but ETH doesn't, I find. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe you go ETH or ETH, like whatever. It's just
one of them.
Yeah, like just pick one of the ETFs and like throw that one in there, and whichever one you see, if you want it to be ETH, just throw that up. But I find on a day where crypto is moving, yeah, we'll see Coin and we'll see Robinhood, but like I don't even see IBIT on here, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And maybe that's just not your preference. That's fine too, everybody. Like I'm not trying to force you guys into wanting us to talk about crypto. It's just I feel like maybe there's something missing as to why it doesn't make the list, and it could be the formatting because it's easy to type in a symbol. But some people like IBIT, and maybe you like a different.
Remember, like
ETF.
half of our audience doesn't even own crypto.
Like it's fair. Maybe that's just a me thing.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe there's another reason why it doesn't make that.
I mean, we are tank city right now in crypto. I feel like, honestly, I like down 3%. It's not that it's tanking. Like if you Google what does tanking mean, but probably has nothing to do with the stock market. But anyways,
what the Colorado Rockies are doing?
Yeah, this just looks like, or what every NBA team does about halfway through.
True.
This just kind of looks like it's a pretty good move in. And, if you look at the futures, I mean, I don't know. Some people are like, they don't have much correlation. But, I mean, obviously, I think they do. Right there in IBIT, there's probably studies that'll prove me wrong. But today with the downside move, as goes IBIT, still making the move lower. Oh, I did want to say, we do have a segment called... I just wanted to show it to everybody. So we got like this fake processed... pork on our, which I've already asked numerous times. No, it's turkey, I think it's supposed to be.
You got the bolognese.
No, so I just went over there now and there was some left over. So I was gonna try some of this. It's not.
It looks good.
I got some.
I mean, anything's better than the. I call it.
I didn't reheat it. I
call it spam.
Sitting here thinking like need to try something here because after just went on the elliptical for 30 minutes, but after that just trying to. Get some more back in here, and that was just that protein was not. I probably won't eat it. I just more wanted to try it. All right. Maybe the market goes for a run here,
better than going up
and honestly, if it does, then we'll get out. I mean, I don't. I do think that it is kind of getting primed up, maybe for a little bit of a rally back. I mean, we're not getting huge spikes in buy volume. I mean, if you look at the bottom here. That's a big spike right there, obviously. We've had a couple tries down into here to get back going. We had 4 or 5 straight green candles in this area, which does make that move higher, but still a fail at the 50-period moving average on a 1-minute chart. They broke it there, but, and then there's a run there of about like 4 or 5 candles, maybe 7 or 8 out of 10 got it going. But yeah, for right now, let's just see if we can get this push, maybe back a little bit lower now, try to break that low of the day. And then after that, like once you break the low of the day again at 315, 330, something like that, then it's like all bets are off. The market could continue to go down. So I like my, I don't know if I'd put the odds any better than 50-50 that this goes up or it goes down, but I'm going to bet just with the way the market's been playing that I like our shot here at a short rather than a long. And the long could still print, no doubt, but I'd like to see a true break. We've been messing around with this 50 period a bunch of times. It needs to break for sure here, 89.55, but I don't want to hold this short all the way up to a breaking level. I want to do it to a level that I'm confident with. If it breaks that level, then we can get out. And it's kind of like we'll just dust the dirt off our shoulder type of thing, right? So that's what we're trying to do right now, is try to play something where I think the odds are a little bit more in our favor. I am bidding some 86s here to get something out, so there it is. So we get a little bit out. We're short 93. We'll just take a little bit there. We are also bidding, 76. I'm going to put 5% down at 83 here, low 80s. See if we can get that fill. That is the low of the day, 88, 82. Right there, the low of the day. So we'll put it right there. See if we get that fill, and then wait for that break, which should give us everything we need. You know, today's market, I mean, Neil and I talked about being diversified a little bit. There are pockets of strength. I mean, the industrials are up today. Whoopsies, what did I just do? The industrials are up a little bit today. But this tech service, technology services and electronic technology, okay, both of these getting crushed right here. So we got to be very, very careful with these plays. But there it is, consumer non-durables, Procter & Gamble, like stocks that have dividends associated with them today, as people are a little scared potentially of their portfolios. They may be looking to grab some stock that aren't as worried about interest rates or anything like that, or might have huge cash flow, like Coke there, Pepsi, Philip Morris, Procter & Gamble. Come on, I mean, this all makes perfect sense, as all of these plays are going to be kind of safe dividend, kind of like, what your parents might be investing in as well. Berkshire obviously up today, so we're really happy with that. We love some Berkshire. And the fact that the financials really aren't getting hit that much is pretty good. JP Morgan down a little bit, Visa down just quite a bit, not that much, 0.21. What I was actually looking for was the industrials.
Hey, look at PayPal.
Oh, here it is over here. Yeah, so some of these industrials today, waste management there as well, Otis, of course, elevators, but this was a positive. I think there's more sectors positive than I actually even thought here today. It's just this side where most of us are looking and where a lot of our portfolios lie.
Like, look at Broadcom. Ew.
Yeah, where's Broadcom? Yeah, but yeah, again, another name that's up at 52-week highs, and yeah, it does have a valuation situation. Look at AMD, 550, 5.5%. Look at the biggest and the baddest of them all. Like, you couldn't find anybody bearish on Oracle, and that's now down 6%. So yeah, man, like all of these names. Oracle is a 50-year-old company. So like Palantir getting hit, like it's just, this is across the board right now in the space, across the market, in the tech space anyways. I think we did a decent job of looking at some other spots that might have some give to them. And I'm going to talk about that with Brian tonight. Is there a sector that he likes with his experience that has been worth it now? And that's why you sort of diversify, right? You guys know I've been buying some Berkshire as well. You don't want to put everything in the same pocket, but I am still, my portfolio is still 80% at least.
Think of one place you want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Easter egg hunts?
Oh, the Bills winning the Super Bowl this year.
That you definitely don't want to go all in on.
Was that a call for Adara? Yeah. Okay, we're going to go to Adara and come back, because one name has now jumped definitively to the top of the list.
Benign OKTA. This is Okta, their cybersecurity name. Betaville, which is this website that seems to, I guess, mostly publish about deals or potential deal making, said that they read a report recently that apparently Okta is being viewed as an acquisition target. So they're not reporting this. They're reporting that they read that Okta could be an acquisition target. So OKTA on watch again. Betaville, which is just a publication mostly about deal making, flagging this one as maybe a look for an acquisition. As you can see, rallied initially here, settling down a bit now. Back to you.
Tough place to make a deal when things are at highs. When the market's at the highs, that when you buy. No, man, you gotta make sure you're buying up that stock when, especially if you're looking for an acquisition. Get that good value in there. So we have Tesla jumping to the head of the leaderboard, Robinhood, Palantir. Coinbase fell off bigly, as Sharif likes to say. That was in the running. But Tesla, look, I don't know what we're going to be able to say that's any different from before. Tesla tracking down to the low. At least my whole thought with Tesla today is you're positive in that you're above that 200 period and this triple, now 3 days in a row, this bottom holding 327. It's not an insignificant level. It's been putting in higher lows basically the entire time since earnings, but it's a bit of a wedge forming. So it cannot get through 350. It doesn't seem to want to break 300. Right now, 327 is a bit of a line in the sand. There's an outside chance it could flat bottom break this before the end of the day, but the way that it's trading, it doesn't feel like there's enough juice down for it to break down. So it could be a flat bottom break tomorrow, or maybe we're going long off that support. like today, but Tesla, I kind of put it in the category of stocks where on a higher time frame, I'm waiting for it to do something big. I'm not a buyer of Tesla shares in my long term here, and I'm not selling any in this range. I'm not scared until we either break like a channel down like that, or I'm not getting excited until we break a channel up. It's failing every time it breaks the channel, can't open the next day holding, and it's failing every time it breaks the channel down. So at some point, this resolves itself with a big move. And Tesla's going to make a big move, but it has not resolved itself with a big move just yet. So you're in like scalp mode and day trade mode or something else for Tesla until we get a little bit more excitement. But it's going to happen. You don't condense like this forever and then the stock, it just doesn't happen. Like there's zero examples, I would imagine, of that happening on any stock where you get a wedge like that, where you don't get some kind of a break. And you don't care as a momentum. If you're looking for momentum, you shouldn't technically care which way it breaks. You just want to look to get more active in either direction. So Intel did break that trend down. There it is, stop at the prior bar, first resistance into 24, it's about 24.45, and then throw VWAP in there if it can get to the volume weighted average price. The other says 270 is the final boss on Tesla. I always like to use the term the Alamo on the chart, but I like that one too. The final boss is 270.
Well, boss is Rock. WWE, that's where it's
yes.
from. Yeah. I'm sure it's from a video game.
All video games have that final boss, though, which sometimes is underwhelming. But what was it? It was Shang whatever in Mortal Kombat. I always forget the last name. Shang-Chi? Whatever, it doesn't matter. In Mortal Kombat. But then Goro, I always thought was like one of the...
Yeah, I thought he was one of the final bosses.
Yeah, but he was kind of like the second, but he looked so dumb. He's one of the worst. Like, Goro doesn't look like you fight anybody. Like, he's just all awkward with the big arms. It's like, yeah, he's big and everything, but...
Yeah, it's the arms that...
It's just like, he looks so gangly. Like, why did anybody think that was... And I like it versus Street Fighter Mortal Kombat. I always thought it was a little bit ridiculous, Goro. And then when you did the movie, he was even worse.
Yeah. All right, so BSLK, is that what you mean, Corleone family? I cannot ignore you. Right there. So I don't know what was it about BSLK. So if it was right here, I do have it up. This is of course ultra low float name that really started getting going here. They showed Q2 results and float fewer than 1.4 million shares right now. We're about to get stopped out on the TQs right now. All right, so we just averaged into this rate here at the 50 period. That's 32.30. This is kind of where we want to stop out now. You know, we told you we've been sort of above the 50 period, but I want to make sure that it runs a little bit further. 89.36. Like I said, we're playing this to the short side, but we're not trying to use a whole bunch of shares, 2 units, so a decent amount of shares, but we'll see. Right now we're out of the money 20 cents. I don't know. Okay, so that BSLK, let's go back over to it just real quickly here. BSLK, I hope that's what you're looking for. Don Corleone. All right, so Bolt Projects, public biomaterials name, vegan proteins and stuff like that I was just reading on. But again, when you have an ultra low float, you do get moves like this, up to $12. Look at all the volume sort of coming off. I always like, I mean, again, this is gonna be cherry picking because I can clearly see what happened, but these big green spikes like this right into here, like that, sometimes these can sort of initiate frenzies and people getting stopped out and having to punch out. So it looks like 11 or 12 might have been that level. And then we really haven't seen very many spikes since then. In fact, now the volume has completely died down. So I would say what you're going to do on BSLK is slow down. You don't need to be in this name right now, I don't think. It is coming into some levels, so if you are in this, I'd watch out for $8 breaking. But again, that spike happened to 12, so if we go back just a little bit, we've already sort of, you can see this plays happen numerous times. And like I said, an ultra low float name, 1.4 million shares. There it is right there from April of 2021. Something happened there where it went from 40 cents up to $6, faded all the way back in, and really had a great Great level there of 210. This is where like you kind of wish that you were in the know, because if you knew that some of these trials were coming, you know, you do have a decent spot there. But again, to go long at $2 doesn't mean it's not falling back to 40 cents. So that could have been disastrous as well.
Well, you don't want to raw dog that. You got to have yourself a stop.
Yeah, you got. But the problem with raw dogging
through.
these stocks, right, is the fact that when you wake up the next day, you realize that you in fact do not have a stop order, and even if you did, you know, like this, it's not like if you went short here, you could have covered. You would have came in and it would have already been huge, right? Just like kind of today, where yesterday, if you were short at the end of the day, you know, you're probably short in around here $7. By the time the market opens up, well, it's actually not that bad. That's already 8.30, 8.40, and then it goes up to 12. So
I have a somewhat obvious question, but just to get the answer out there, I'm going to ask you this. Would you ever feel comfortable swinging a stock like that if you couldn't execute in the pre-market? If you had no, if you could only, but I'm just saying, if you could only execute you couldn't execute pre and post market, how comfortable would you feel in one of those things holding it? Because I know I really wouldn't.
I think I would never put a lot of money into a name like this. So I think that, you know, going into it, you just hope that it doesn't happen to you. So I would feel comfortable doing it, because I think that in order to make money, you got to risk something.
True.
And this kind of a stock makes sense. I mean, it's a good question. But yeah, that's the problem. We had another stock that was up like 100% today.
I think the problem is like so many of those gains, sometimes the tops are made in the pre-market. So often you see that happen. So to not have the ability to take profit up there, or to trail out up there, or stop out if it breaks down, just makes some of those things really unappealing for small cappers. So this is not, I'm not telling everyone out there and make sure your broker does that. I'm just saying for myself, I wouldn't feel comfortable. Because I think there's so much alpha in the pre-market trading, and some of that has to do with how people will pump and dump and all that stuff that happens online.
And believe me,
there's nothing you can do about that. You can't really do anything. But look at Viking this morning. If you couldn't have traded in the pre-market, that's a great example. And that's not even a small company. Yikes.
Yeah, just everybody, I do know what raw dogging means. And it's like an inside joke with my family. So I brought it to you guys.
Now we're going to never stop saying it. Never.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever.
So, well, nothing changes around here. We brought a lot of stuff that keeps getting used, and that's what we want to do, right? We want to talk about that. Like, for example, you sometimes say, get it, Adara, or get it, Sharif, and that comes from those two. So we can all share our stuff. We share our roll call. And pretty soon we are sharing more with you guys, because Studio 8 is about to pop off. We have a lot happening, man. Mark is now in China. He's going... China.
Where did that come from?
That's pretty good. He's getting trained up on some of the new technologies that we will be providing to you guys. And yeah, we're really super, super excited about all of that. So yeah, all right, so that's what we're doing right now. Well, people were saying Uber was really strong. Go ahead.
Specifically why he's going is that entire, you can't see because it's just a gigantic black wall. That's going to be something very, very special, let's just say. And he is getting trained up on making that happen, just so you know. You said Uber. Uber is doing really well.
Yeah, Uber's up 1.3%.
There's not an obvious reason why. There isn't an obvious reason why, but I like it.
I mean, I wrote down on the Tesla thing that I thought Tesla was going to go up because of robo-taxi, and that sometimes would be bad for Uber, but not today, as Uber right now, $96 high, $96.50 high, and holding. This might be a good little breaker 19 as well, if it breaks VWAP, $95.50 coming into play right there. I did want to check in on my NVIDIA trade to see if that's happening yet. Nah, not really. Oh boy, it's okay. I'm going to cancel the 177.30 break right there. We were going to go long if it broke that level, but now I'm thinking like that might be too far gone because we haven't broke through this 50. Okay, we're going to get stopped out on this futures trade. Boo, that's too bad. We're 5 cents away from getting that. We're 30 cents out of the money on that. Nah, that's too bad. Okay, so we'll give a little bit back on the day, about 30% or so back on that short. So not great give back on that. But yeah, that's a little bit too far away for me on NVIDIA. Like, I don't want it to get to the 50 and then the 200 and then it comes back through. But if we take this long, that would be 170, maybe a little bit higher. Yeah, I don't know. The real break right there, if we just zoom in exactly, that's 60s. What is this level looking like? 80s, and 20 cents makes a difference. Okay. I was just going to say, because I would probably stop myself out. So this is what I do when I'm looking at trades and figuring out what to do. It's, and share size especially, true. It's like, where is my out? So this coming back in, this 50-period moving average probably would be my out there on NVIDIA. So if we did wind up breaking there, that's 60s. We have to get out at 12, so 50 cents or so. So, 100 shares is $50. Like that's kind of the math that I'm trying to figure out. And then especially late day trade, I don't want to just blast in and the next thing you know, like you're up a couple $100 and you take 1,000 shares or something and you lose it all in one idea. So no, we're going to wait on that. But yeah, NVIDIA looks like it could be at that break. And I think it might be worth taking. We are going to get stopped out of our future. Well, looks like we're going to stop out of our futures trade very, very soon as the market is now breaking higher. We thought that this was a chance to do this. And Palantir is right back up to 158.60 right now. But I'm looking at this NVIDIA break, man. 176.60, I think, isn't a horrible break. We haven't broken that 200 period all day. Right off the open, obviously, it came back in. So, yeah, that trend change would be basically good to go in and around that area. So that could be something, man. 160, there we go. We got stopped out of our TQ position, so boo on that one as there that goes. But yeah, I'm really thinking about that NVIDIA trade now, especially that the futures have sort of climbed a little bit higher. Something to consider there with NVIDIA on that 176.60 break. But now there's only 20 minutes.
Riven Millionaire loves Netflix, he says.
Okay, it was down 3% today at one point.
Well, it's still, it's not down. It's not at the lows, but 2.5% down. It's above VWAP. It's not really moving a heck of a lot, but hey, off the lows is about as good as you're going to get on a day like today. Oh, that chart. Oh, I wanted to be with you on that one. I really did. I like Netflix. I own Netflix, and never got back into Disney after putting all my Disney into Netflix. That worked, but my intention was at some point to try to get back to the House of Mouse, and this never did. This is, it doesn't look good. It's like a nice little bounce. We literally just lost a 50 period and then also lost a small little bit of a trend line there. So I'm not necessarily as good a look there. And just very quickly, the trend break, I'm not really going to change my rules. Sometimes it ends up in a bottoming tail wick, but the prior bar candle on the trend break is my out. So that's exactly where the out was. Might have actually gotten a good fill there, but it ends up bouncing after the stop. But I'm only looking for a trend break that works right away. I don't want to make a mess of it. This market, if you have to convince me that the thing I'm looking at is going to be a trend break. AMD's trying to do it again. We'll show you the early look on the imbalances. Spoiler alert: nothing too big just yet. After we get back from Adara. Yeah,
just take a look here at our pre-market earnings moves. As I mentioned earlier, we have quite a few high-profile names reporting tomorrow before the bell. Target, TJX, Baidu, Lowe's among them. So if you're wondering how much are these going to move and what time are they expected to be released, you can check this out right now in X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Right, so Baidu, Alibaba. Was it Alibaba on there? No. Okay, yeah, so some Chinese names. And then the big one for me is going to be the retail names. Of
yeah,
course.
That's the big deal this
we'll
week.
wait to see what they're doing. I don't know if NVIDIA is going to.
It rounds out with Walmart on Thursday.
Yeah, Walmart could be a good one for sure. All right, what are people talking about? I know we just sort of looked at this, but let me just have a one. Okay, so I didn't reset this from the beginning, but Tesla still 330, down 1.5% right now.
It's still number one.
Tesla, okay, so Robinhood down 7%. Like Robinhood down, Palantir down. I think there's some opportunities there for sure. CoreWeave down to $92. I do not like that. I do not really. There's BSLK. Okay, it was actually on here. Up 15% there today as well. NIO, BMNR, Intel up 7, so that's real good. There, AMD, NVIDIA. So I think we've covered most of these. Open Door down to 360 again. That's a level that was holding yesterday. I think that's something to look at. I would think right now. That's Open Door. So if Open Door does want to hold it, if I believe yesterday's levels on Open, oh no, it was rated, it was lower, so 340. All right, so not 360, 340 level there for Open Door. So I'd say we have a little bit more ways to go, but it doesn't look like we're breaking anytime soon. That's 355, 356. Pretty calm right here as the market just figures itself out heading into the close. So yeah, good job there today for Open Door. Down though, but lots of opportunity. Opportunity early, opportunity late to short. Now, not much opportunity at all. It's Open Door.
But always an opportunity to level up your trading game for 1 month free at eSignal, everybody. They're still doing it. Free is free. Last I checked, that was a good price. You get to try out a professional trading platform with reliable market data, with tick charts, with level 2 access, every indicator you can imagine, including maybe you like moving averages. I don't know. Maybe you like I don't know, AVWAP, that's another one out there. Volume control, all kinds of different things. A balance locator as well, if you're interested in that. Tick charts, 5-second charts. API access. You can trade directly through the platform through 50 plus brokers as well. Automate your trades, as I said before, with AI access. And 1 month is free. So scan the QR code you see out in front of you. Trade smarter, not harder with eSignal. Give them a shot. And, I think I keep forgetting. Remember I was saying we need to look at the entitlement because you had more data on the locator. I don't need the locator data. We have it in P8. But I forgot to check the next time I see something halted if I'm getting the full data. And if we get another big IPO, it's just useful because what you're able to sort of see is not just the indicated price, you're able to see like the current spread a little bit as well. And when that tightens up, you get closer to opening up, which is not that bad of an indicator because we tend to always anticipate when is this finally going to open. And there's some kind of a tell when the spread starts to close up a little bit here on those IPOs. Although, with this market pullback, I feel like the next couple of IPOs might have missed that really good window. Because when we're trending, it's so much different when you're IPO on the way up. When the market is topped and pulling back, might not be the best time in the world. I'll just leave it at that. We'll see.
We'll see.
But I don't know what else is big. There was.
But don't you feel like this is the kind of talk that gets us in trouble? Because the Nasdaq, this is one day.
No, I know. I'm just
we
saying.
were just at all-time highs yesterday.
But the other part, I guess, the other part of it is the performance of the last few. Like CoreWeave and Circle had great opens and then ran for days and weeks, right? Where Figma just goes straight down and Bullish just goes effectively straight down.
Check out some Bullish.
And I haven't looked at Bullish today, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say that it did not have a bullish day. Let's be real. If Bullish is up today,
I mean, Robinhood is down 6%.
Yeah, there's no way Bullish is up. I haven't looked at the chart today, but I know there's no way it's up.
No, it's down 7%. I mean, very, very similarly to everything else.
Could be worse.
This is what happened. This is what Bullish looks like. I mean, it's only 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I think it's going to be going lower. But again, Peter Thiel, all these guys, all the insiders, trust me, man, these guys are
37.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see what happens. The 37 was the issue price there for BSL, BLSH. Probably Coinbase getting clocked as well today. Yeah, down to 303. Wow. Okay, Coinbase down 6% today as well. This is not even. This is just the start. Like, I am long only, and it's not good. Like, you are now starting to break below some key levels, right? Like not holding this 50-period moving average. We just talked about what crypto possibly, at risk of going lower through, breaking through the 50-period moving average and trying to retest about 100, where we've last seen some decent support. I think there's some support at 108 as well. We're at 113 right now. But there's Coinbase on that drop down there. And I mean, just to talk about IBIT, as a lot of you might be in IBIT rather than Bitcoin, but there it is. See, there's a 50-period that we're talking about. So, yeah. At risk for sure, but a good price also. Like, there's that 10% move down that everybody's looking for. You want to pick up on weakness, that's for sure, which is what I was saying, like maybe going home tonight, looking a little bit through the old accounts and trying to figure out if there's something that, looks real good. But again, I don't want to jump the gun on all of this. This is now basically 4 straight down days. Generally speaking, 3 or 4 days is when you kind of look to see, is there going to be some kind of a rebound? Is there not? And then you use the 3-day rule. Normally that is reserved for earnings or for major individual stock announcements, but yeah, for right now, IBIT, getting hit to the downside. We'll wait to see where that winds up settling. Yeah, you can use 10%. That's funny there, Matt. What's up, Matt Mers? You can lose 10% an infinite amount of times. Yeah, until it's eventually zero. Just check out stocks like Mullen and CEI and all these other names that have gone by the way of the minus 10% per day, and then eventually you get squashed. And that's why it was like we were talking about that move up in MSOS or Tilray or ACB.
Yeah, at some point.
Like, I'm already down at 98%.
You got to ring the register when they
you got to be careful with all that. I'm still short the futures, trying to get a little bit more out here, 24, 25s. So let's just wait to see what winds up happening. We did get stopped out there, but we got back in. The imbalances.
There's nothing here, really.
There's nothing. I mean, we've got, you have it up. Go to Neil's screen, it's a little bit bigger, but it buys and sells.
There's nothing much early, like CX, SU, Kenview, that's always there, FCX. We'll see if there's anything that's actually big at about 350 when the NASDAQ names start to hit. You only get an early look on the New York name for like the only reason that we're able to show you anything at this time of day, this time where you have an early imbalance is because, you know, with the old floor system, I mean, there's still a floor, right? And you have early orders coming in, and there's at least information to be disseminated. We just see all the Mag 7 and all the NASDAQ ones just populated 350. Any NASDAQ name is probably from earlier or it halted, which was hilarious because my Halt scanner, I love it when they do testing at the NASDAQ because my Halt scanner is all the test symbol.
Those.
It's literally like all of it is just they keep halting the test symbol. One of them, ZXZZT. I thought it was ZVZZT. I guess they must have two. But there's not even a lot of halts today, which shows you like you're not getting the crazy moves in the small caps either. It's that kind of day. Like sometimes you get more juice out of those, right? So AMD technically didn't really break the trend and close above it. So a little bit more of a patient entry, break the trend, closed above, didn't chase, waited for the pullback, prior bar out, like always. And I just heard, there is a stock that's halting, but it's a nothing burger. Before someone asks me, PSHQ is halting around. This must be on news. I just heard it in my ear that this opened back up, but I don't know the news off the top of my hand. Something clearly going on here because this has done less than 1 million shares and just started doing volume now. Like literally no volume all day, and now 800,000 in volume on whatever this is.
I'm going to look into it, but I know off the top of my head 100% for sure this is one of the ones that Donald Trump Jr. is involved in. I'll say that right now, but I haven't done research on the story yet. I just know that off the top.
That is good to know. I did not know that, but that is certainly good information off the top of the head. But obviously moving. This could easily...
have an investigation closing.
Yeah. Investigation closing. It could halt again, by the way, because it's only a $2 stock, so it doesn't have to move very far to go into another halt. Easily, I think it's at the halt. Well, not yet, but it's getting close to a potential halt to the upside a second timer on PSQH. Thank you, Sean. Of course.
It is halting.
It's going into the halt band. No,
I bought it.
It keeps on breaking the halt band.
I bought it. All right, I'm in PSQH here. So all I need to hear is Trump, and I'm down. So right here, PSQH. So we're in this name here, long at 09s, waiting to see. Let's get something out. I don't know. $2.18 the high. I don't want to. I mean, if this breaks back down below 2, which may do very, very shortly, that's sort of that halt. We don't want it to halt on us again. So I think a break of like. I wish I could sort of calculate where this spot is. We're not in it very heavy. We're just hoping that maybe it could go on a break there. But PSQH, Adair's got the story, so we'll wait to see what it is. But let's go find out right now, and then we'll see the price action when we get back.
Yeah, this is a pretty wild one, guys. So what happened here is we have PSQ Holdings again. Donald Trump Jr. is involved in this name. He's on the board. They announced that apparently the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has closed their investigation into Credova. So Credova Financial is a wholly owned subsidiary of PSQ. Now, why is this interesting? Because we know Donald Trump Jr. is involved in the board, and specifically this, I guess, this notification or this brief, for lack of a better term, this press release, that's what I'm looking for, outright says, oh, well, thankfully, President Trump and the acting director of the CFPB were able to close this investigation. They called it politically motivated. Basically, there's a lot of the timing of this is pretty interesting. The context of this is interesting. So long story short, PSQ Holdings announcing that the CFPB has now closed its investigation into Credova, a wholly owned subsidiary of PSQH. And again, the company is saying that this was entirely politically motivated and thanking President Trump, whose son is on their board. Back to you.
Yeah, so what a surprise.
Never
maybe,
a dull moment.
Maybe Tom Lee will be on the board and they can go into an Ethereum trust. Maybe that could be a play. And I hope it does because we are now long, of course, on PSQH. And decent story. Look, I'm waiting at 18s. That was sort of the high of that move. If it gets up there, great. If not, we'll punch out. I just told you, a breakthrough $2 and we'll get out. We just don't want to be part of a halt to the downside, right? Because then the next thing you know, it just gets back to this $1.65 area. And as Neil mentioned before,
or maybe it doesn't even open up till the after.
Or it doesn't even open up, and then I'm going to have to answer to somebody. So right now, we're just going to have to wait to see what winds up happening here. I am offering 18, so if it does come back up to the upside, good. Right now for PSQH, I have no idea what they do or anything, just trying to follow the money flow here in this name. So, again, the plan is pretty defined. I like having defined plans. We ain't raw dogging this one, that's for sure. So we'll wait to see where it goes. And there it goes. All right, so fail. We got out at, so we lost 8 cents, actually I think we got actually even better price. Yeah, we got 99s there. Okay, so a good price.